Hello everyone, welcome to my video I call You Are Just Like the Sun. As I've told you before, the earth is created from rings thrown off from the sun. But how can that be? The sun is so far away and so hot. Well, this video is going to explain the process of rings forming into planets. To do this, I'd like to use your imagination for a moment. Imagine it's a beautiful blue sky day, few white fluffy clouds floating over, and you're taking a walk out in a beautiful green meadow where the breezes blow the grass here and there. The temperature's just right. You feel like a kid again, so you lie down on your back to look up at the sky. You see a few birds floating over. You smell the grass, and here comes a little yellow butterfly nosing around, trying to figure out what you're doing. As you look up to the sun, realize that it is 93 million miles away. How on earth can it make planets? To better understand the ring process, let's get in our imaginary space vehicle and fly at a rate of 1 million miles per second all the way up to the sun's surface. We'll be there in about a minute and a half. As we're taking off, we look down and our green meadow turns into a blue-white marble, and the earth becomes smaller and smaller as the sun becomes larger and larger. Now, we land on the surface of the sun. Enormously hot. We are insulated and feeling just fine. You see, the sun is 5,000 degrees hot, and we just came through the darkness of space, which is somewhere close to 400 degrees below zero. Incredible opposites. What do we find on the sun's surface? Firestorm shooting up and going down everywhere, commotion everywhere. You see, our sun is very young. She's a young mother. She's given an awful lot of planets, and she will give off a lot more. All the planets before us, like Mars, were once Earths. They had beautiful rivers and forests and blue skies, and yes, even nosy little yellow butterflies, just like ours. And the planets nearest to the sun will also give off people and beautiful rivers and so forth. Mankind is eternal. There's no end to mankind. There's no beginning to mankind. It is a condition of certain suns will give off planets that become Earths. It's mathematical though. It's exactly balanced. Now, how do those rings form? These firestorms, some of them will shoot up 100,000 miles above the surface of the sun. 100,000 miles. That's one heck of a fire, but that's just an average day for the sun. The sun then creates sunspots. These sunspots are located at certain areas on the sun and will turn into planets. And here's how it works. Just imagine a great big yellow beach ball in my hand. Now imagine taking gray duct tape and going around that yellow beach ball, around the center, around the middle of it. The middle is called the equilateral plane. That equilateral plane is not just a line, it's a belt. Just above that belt are sunstorms that are turning in a clockwise direction, and the bottom edge is counterclockwise direction. These start to come together when the sun breathes in and out every 11 years. Yes, the sun takes a breath every 11 years. Now, when this belt becomes more narrow, the two sunspots, you might think of them as male and female, start working towards each other. They intermingle, they rub together. And watch what happens in this string. As I twist this string, you'll see the middle of it tries to knot up. That's exactly the way those mineral rings try to work together, and they become knotted up. They become a perfect sphere because they are God's plan to become another perfect sphere of a planet. Now I realize the Earth is not a perfect sphere. We will get to that. And neither is Mars and Saturn. But we will understand why in another video. For now, realize that these orbs that are created by these sunspots will come out of the edge of the equilateral plane, either the bottom edge or the top edge, to become separate planets outside the mother sun. When our little Earth comes out, it's a little BB compared to the great big giant mother, just as you're very small when you came out of your mother. That little BB is just as hot and just as fiery as the mother. And I think that's where we're going to leave it for right now. Just imagine a big yellow beach ball here and a little bitty yellow marble size or even smaller little planet going around the sun for right now. And in our next video, we'll take our Earth on toward the creation of what we call life. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, ecstatic day.